Far out in the Arabian Sea, where monsoon winds collide with burning desert air, an island rises from the horizon like a hallucination. It does not look real, it looks imagined, sculpted by a restless god experimenting with life. This is Socotra, a fragment of ancient earth that drifted away and forgot to return. The coastline appears first, sheer limestone cliffs carved by relentless waves, white sand glowing beneath a ruthless sun, turquoise water dissolving into endless blue. There are no skylines here, no towers, no human noise, only wind, only sea, only the silence of something that has survived untouched for millions of years. Socotra broke away from the African continent when tectonic forces tore the Arabian plate apart. Isolated for over 20 million years, it became a biological laboratory. Evolution here does not follow familiar rules. It improvises, it dreams. Step inland and the landscape begins to shift. The ground turns pale and dusty. Jagged mountains rise abruptly from the plains, their granite cores exposed like the bones of the planet. Clouds gather unexpectedly around the peaks, drawn by seasonal monsoon winds that wrap the island in mist while the surrounding sea shimmers in heat. It is a paradox, desert and cloud forest existing in the same breath. Then, over a ridge of stone, the impossible appears. A forest of living umbrellas stretches across the plateau. Thick trunks rise from cracked earth, each crowned with a perfectly symmetrical canopy. Their branches reach upward and outward like veins frozen mid-pulse. These are the dragon's blood trees, ancient, defiant, and found nowhere else on Earth. Their resin runs red as spilled blood. For centuries it has been harvested for medicine, dye, incense. But here, under the crushing sun, the trees are not commodities, they are guardians. Their umbrella shape is not decorative, it is survival. The canopy shades the roots, trapping precious moisture in soil that sees little rain. In a place where water vanishes almost as soon as it falls, even the trees have learned to become umbrellas. The wind moves through them in whispers. From above, the forest resembles a congregation of alien sentinels standing evenly spaced across a sunburned world. There is no other forest like this, not in Africa, not in Arabia, not anywhere. Nearly 40% of Socotra's plant life exists nowhere else on Earth. Bottle trees swell with stored water, their bulbous trunks glowing soft pink at dawn. Frankincense trees cling to vertical cliffs, roots gripping bare rock as if defying gravity itself. Succulents bloom from stone crevices where no soil should exist. Life does not simply survive here, it insists. And yet, this island is harsh. Temperatures soar. Fresh water is scarce. During the Kharif monsoon, powerful winds sweep across the land, bending trees sideways and sculpting rock into smooth, wind-carved forms. The sea becomes violent, isolating the island for months at a time. Waves slam against limestone walls with prehistoric force. Boats cannot approach. The outside world disappears. Isolation is both curse and creator. Birdsong cuts through the stillness. The Socotra starling flashes iridescent green in sunlight. Sunbirds hover near desert blossoms. Reptiles dart across hot sand, scales reflecting light like shards of glass. With few natural predators and little competition, species evolve into forms found nowhere else on Earth. It is evolution in slow motion, visible in every leaf and feather. In the island's interior, caves open like mouths in the mountainside. Stalactites hang from ceilings formed drip by drip over millennia. Underground chambers stretch deep into darkness, preserving stories written in mineral and time. When beams of sunlight pierce narrow cave openings, dust swirls like galaxies suspended in air. Above ground, the Hajir Mountains dominate the skyline. Their granite peaks fracture into sharp ridges, casting long shadows across valleys below. Here, cooler air lingers. Mist condenses on leaves, feeding fragile ecosystems hidden within folds of rock. In these elevated sanctuaries, endemic species cling to life, protected by altitude and isolation. The land feels primeval, as if humanity arrived late. There are no highways crossing these plateaus, no sprawling infrastructure. Movement happens slowly, on foot, by small boat, guided by stars and memory. Night falls without artificial glow. The Milky Way erupts across the sky with startling clarity. Constellations reflect faintly off the dark sea, as though the heavens have doubled. The silence at night is immense. But Socotra is not frozen in time. Climate patterns shift, grazing pressures increase. Young dragon's blood trees struggle to replace their elders. Without careful balance, the island's fragile experiment in evolution could falter. An ecosystem born from isolation depends on protection from intrusion. And still, at sunrise, the island feels eternal. Golden light spills across the Dragon's Blood Plateau. Shadows stretch long and delicate across cracked earth. The trees glow amber against a pale blue sky. A single bird crosses the frame. Wind brushes through canopies with a sound like distant surf. On the southern coast, sand dunes rise against limestone cliffs, shaped by monsoon winds into sculpted waves. Where desert meets ocean, fresh water seeps from hidden springs, creating lagoons of impossible clarity. Fish flicker in shallow pools. Crabs trace delicate patterns along untouched beaches. It is abundance born from scarcity. From above, Socotra looks like a fragment of another planet accidentally dropped into our ocean. Yet every stone, every tree, every gust of wind belongs entirely to Earth, to its ancient tectonic restlessness, its patient evolutionary experiments. The dragon's blood tree stands again in the frame, alone against a burning sky. Its crown spreads like a shield. Beneath it, the soil is cooler, darker, alive with hidden moisture. It is a symbol of resilience, of adaptation carved by time and necessity. In a world increasingly mapped, paved, illuminated, Socotra remains defiantly wild, not because it resists change, but because it evolved beyond familiarity. It challenges the eye, it unsettles expectation, it feels like memory from a forgotten era. The sea continues its endless rhythm against the cliffs. The monsoon winds return, season after season, shaping and reshaping this living archive. Life balances on isolation, on extremes, on the thin line between endurance and fragility. And as the camera rises slowly above the plateau, revealing hundreds of dragon's blood trees stretching towards the horizon like an alien congregation, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. On this island, adrift in the Arabian Sea, Earth reveals what it can become when left alone, strange, resilient, and inimaginably beautiful.